Hi everyone, and thanks for joining me on another episode on SMRC, Sonny Manic RC. So, Arrma have released a new Limitless, the Limitless ready to run. And I've seen a lot of debate, a lot of comments and views and opinions on YouTube and forums and so on. So I thought, you know what, I'll put my opinion out there as well, because why not? So, I can see where Arrma are trying to go with this. I mean, they're aiming at a market where, well, basically they're aiming at those RCers that have never done speedrunning before, want to get into it, don't know where to start and what to do. And you know, you can look at all the YouTube videos in the world, and you can go to on forums. Now forums can be sometimes helpful and as equally unhelpful. You know, speedrunners for beginners, for example, you post a question on there and the first comment you'll get back is, why don't you Google it? I was like, well, hold on a minute, I came here to ask questions because it's a speedrunners for beginners group, right? So I can guess that's the reason why they've done this this car. So you can take this out of the box, stick a lipo in it, put batteries in the controller, and straight out of the box you can get 70 miles per hour on the first setting. So the first setting is just standard. Then you got your second setting, stick a speedrun pinion in it, and you get 100 miles per hour. Right, once you've achieved that, stick the spool in and you can get 120 miles per hour. Where you go from that, you know, it's up to you. But by that time, at least you've got some knowledge of speedrunning and you understand the concepts of it. Now, it doesn't make any mention of doing any of the geometry or the suspension setup and so on, but I guess that comes afterwards. I mean, although if I was to get something like this, I'd probably be looking at doing the geometry and the suspension as well, because obviously I've been speedrunning for 2-3 years, so I kind of understand what needs to be done. I mean, I think for those people that are new to speedrunning, this is great. You know, the other option is the Traxxas XO, which, well, isn't fantastic. And, you know, you got to do a bunch of changes and setting changes to even get that speed. So, you know, to get to 100 miles per hour. So it's not really ideal, this one. You just take it out of the box, whack it in, whack a battery in it, and you can get to 100 miles per hour. Well, 120 miles per hour even. So yeah, I think it's a good idea, but just as equally, you know, for me it was a learning process. I've been doing it for 3 years. My first car was a Limitless version 1 GT. I converted into a GT model, and you know, I got 80, then 90, then 100, and I was learning all the time. And part of the enjoyment of that was the learning process, learning about the electronics, learning about KV, learning about lipos, learning about the geometry setup, and learning about the suspension setup, you know, watching all these different videos. And that's the thing as well, you can watch all these videos, but everyone's got their own way of doing it, right? So James McCoy will do it his way, Raz Schifrin will do it his way, Kevin Tolbert, Tom Lee, all the other guys, they do it their own way. So everyone does it their own way, right? And I learned a lot when I went to Rosser in 23. So Rosser is a radio operated scale speed association, and you go there to set records basically. Any of those records, if you hit a record, you beat a record, then that does go into the Guinness Book of Records because it's actually official. So I did go to Rosser, and I got some decent speeds there. The first event I actually went to was arranged by David from Scorched Parts, and that was at Elvington. And I think there I got 130 on my first run, 145 on the second run, and then I ran out of tyres, and then I realised that, yeah, you need more tyres to attend these events. And that's another thing that you learn, you know what I mean? You know, you have to go there prepared. You know, I went with the 3 sets of tyres, and all 3 sets were like, one set was gone in the testing, one set on the first run, the third set in my third run. So there you go. So I think this is a good idea. That's definitely for those people that are new to speedrunning. But equally, you could probably do a little bit more investigation, and if those guys on the forum were a bit more helpful, you could probably build your own. But you know, that's the way I see it. It's definitely a good idea. However, you know, it is a lot of money, so it's definitely something, if you definitely want to do it, then this is probably one of the routes you can take. There are other routes. You could start with 110 scale. You could definitely, no one's mentioned the Relalos, one of the Relalos, AK75, 787, I think, out of the box. I've seen someone get 140 on that, but it is a smaller scale, and I guess some people may not want to start on the 110 scale and go straight into the 17 scale, so I can understand that, and I think that's where this car is aimed for. But anyway, those are my opinions. Tell me what you think. Stick a comment in. I mean, it's a nice looking car. I mean, one of the things that I do like about it is the paint job. The paint job's fantastic. I know that when I got my Limitless, I had to paint it up myself, and you know, but I don't mind painting. I'll be 100% honest. I love painting my own cars. I like doing my own schemes. So for me, that's, you know, I don't mind doing it. Soldering, I don't mind doing it. But yeah, some of those kind of things kind of scare some people, and they don't like doing that. Some people hate soldering, some people hate painting, and so on and so on. For me, I've been doing it for years, so it's not really a problem. Some people may not want to do that, and they want to just open the box, put a lipo in, and go run. And I think this car is aimed at those people. But anyway, tell me what you think, and please do subscribe and like if you like, dislike if you don't like it, and I'll see you in the next one. I've got another video coming very soon. So until then, see you later. Ta-ra.